footprint.
First, cut out beef.
Beef production is a huge user of energy and water.
To make just 1 quarter pounder, you will need 150 gallons of water.
For a climatarian, beef is bad, pork is okay, fruits and vegetables are eaten only in season because if the fruit has to be flown in from another country, importing it burns jet fuel, bad for the environment. Personally, I'm becoming a pricivore. That's where you eat whatever's cheapest. They used to call it scraping to make ends meet, but aren't we all? So as we skip the Lucky Charms and buy that Marshmallow Magic generic cereal, don't consider yourself cheap or struggling. Call yourself a pricivore. Suddenly you're okay because your diet reflects a guiding principle. I made the term up, but if I'm honest, I am not really a true pricivore. My wife is the thrifty one who does the shopping. My guiding principle is get off my lawn, which makes me a what-do-you-mean-ivore. That's a guy who looks at the grocery receipt on the kitchen counter, sees that 6 bags are $200 and says, "What do you mean potato chips are $4.99? And after complaining, this is important, a what-do-you-mean-ivore eats every last chip and then complains that there's no dip. Only problem is, while the climatarians are saving the world, I gained 3 pounds this month.
Because I'm fat. Come on.
How's your diet going?
Don't you call me pudgy, portly, or stout, just tell me once again who's fat.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
So good. Interesting, too.
What meanivore? I think I need a therapist now because I may fit in that category. Yeah. Jeff's back from vacation this afternoon. He'll help you get home starting at 3. KSL News Time, 7:45. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah's had no days over 100 degrees this June, and while that may seem strange, it's actually the norm for the state. I'm KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Second, our record-breaking snowpack is almost completely melted in what experts say was a near-perfect spring.
Third, traffic and weather together.
Southbound traffic on I-15 still has a little bit of delay near 31st Street in Ogden. And we still have some southbound slowdowns as you pass 215 in North Salt Lake. Starting to get a lot worse. More heavy traffic going through Draper, Bluffdale, and up into Midvale, Murray now as well, heading towards downtown. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Mid-80s with a chance for PM thunderstorms. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 65 downtown.
In depth now, former Texas Representative Will Hurd is one of the newest people to throw his hat into the presidential race ring.
538.com senior elections analyst Jeffrey Skelly joined us this morning from New York, and we asked him why someone would join the GOP side of the race when there's already so many candidates.
I think it's always sort of a balance between someone's self-belief, but also perhaps what in the long run could raise their profile, especially for a candidate who's not as well known as Hurd. Whether it's sort of a future in the party, or in this case, it may just be a sincere effort to want to reshape the Republican Party and a conservative image that Hurd promotes. Maybe not so much one that is like the one that former President Donald Trump is talking about.
Well, and every once in a while, somebody like Chris Christie gets in and just pulls the curtain back and says, look, I'm here to do a little Trump bashing, and that he feels like that's his job.
Yeah, and so actually what we have is essentially a group now of like 4 or 5 either sort of fiercely anti-Trump or at least Trump-skeptical candidates who are running in this primary race, but they're kind of fighting over a small slice of the pie. I described it as kind of like getting into a crowded elevator in an old apartment building. It's small and cramped, and there are already a lot of people in here. Do you really want to be in this thing? And that's sort of what Hurd's candidacy, it gives that off a little bit.
And doesn't the former president still have a considerable lead in the polls?
Yes. In our primary poll average at 538, we have Donald Trump at about 52% in Republican primary polls nationally. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. You need the anti-Trump, Trump skeptical, and Trump, but with someone else not named Trump group to maybe coalesce to really take him on. And that hasn't happened yet, and we'll see if it does.
Well, and it seems like each of these candidates is going under the assumption that one of these indictments is going to knock him back in those polls and give them an opportunity, but it doesn't seem to be happening.
Right, and I think that is maybe part of the hope, is that you might reach, kind of a critical mass. But given Trump's history and many scandals and other things that he has survived in the past, and how he's remained very popular among the Republican base, I don't think there's necessarily a huge chance of that. But obviously, who knows? You have to always be open to the unexpected.
Yes, that's what we are every day. We are open to the unexpected. Thank you, Jeffrey, for that.
And maybe this election cycle more than any other. There are still some out there that don't believe it'll be Trump or Biden that runs in this election.
Anything's possible.
Too early to tell at this point. KSL News Time 7:49. It's time for a look at traffic and weather together. We do it every 10 minutes on the 9. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Andy Farnsworth, what's it looking like?
Well, Tim, I'm seeing extra delay now on I-15 for traffic coming from Utah County. You're backed up between the 14300 South Bluffdale exit and the Bangerter Highway exit as you head into Draper. Then you're at the speed limit for a few more miles, around 53rd South, 45th South. Those are some areas where traffic merging onto the freeway, seeing some brake lights. Also, Bangerter slow in Taylorsville at 4700 South. And traffic in Tooele County, pretty thick. Lake Point, in fact, almost the whole way through Lake Point now are you seeing slowdowns on SR 36. Heather?
Drivers on southbound I-15 in Ogden are still below the speed limit between 31st Street and the I-84 interchange. We never figured out what is actually slowed everybody down. Could have been debris on the roadway. But once you get past I-84, you've got good speeds all the way into North Salt Lake, and then you'll start seeing more brake lights around I-215's North Interchange heading into downtown. No problems, though, on US 89 or most of the city streets this morning. Eric.
215 eastbound running smooth northbound from Cottonwood Heights up to the mouth of Harley's Canyon. If you're getting on Foothill Drive, expect some usual slowdowns this time of the morning, right from Parley's Way up to 1700 South. And I-80 through the mountains, that's looking good through Parley's Canyon. Utah's Family Fun Rodeo is back July 13th through 15th. The Ute Stampede at Juab County Fairgrounds. Rodeo starts at 8 nightly. Visit UteStampedeRodeo.com. UteStampedeRodeo.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Good morning to you, Matt.
Good morning. It's going to be a delightful day. 84 degrees this afternoon with a chance for thunderstorms. Tomorrow, still a chance, but lesser chances to see thunderstorms, 85. All right, we'll go Friday. Looks pretty good, mostly sunny, 87. Then we turn it on. Saturday, 92, sunny skies, 97 on Sunday. We'll go mostly sunny on Monday, 99 degrees. Oh, man, 98 for the 4th of July. Yeah, we've had a bit of a change in the forecast as high pressure is looking pretty good here.
Yeah, we need to talk to you later about what happened yesterday afternoon with a 0% chance because it rained like cats and dogs at our house for a little while.
That's right.
So they do pop up out of nowhere. Mostly cloudy downtown this hour and 65 degrees.
At Shane Company, we believe everybody is made to shine. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. Shining is not for a chosen few. Like a rare gemstone, each one of us was created under just the right set of circumstances. Your moments, your milestones, your love story, all deserve to shine bright. You don't need an occasion or an invitation. You and your life are the event. At Shane Company, we handcraft our jewelry with the greatest care and hand-select the most beautiful gemstones so you can shine. So put on a pair of earrings that make your eyes sparkle. Wear diamonds that light up the room. Try on sapphires in every color of the rainbow. Give an heirloom that collects new stories with each generation. We're all made to shine. Shane Company, fine jewelry since 1929.
If you've got a honey-do list with electrical, plumbing, heating, or air conditioning projects on it, Any Hour Services can help. Call Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. AnyHourServices.com.
Life is full of firsts. Your first car, first college class, first trip to the ocean, first house, first child, your first day on the job, and your first day of retirement. As you grow, You First is here for all of your important milestones. Come grow with us. You First can help you take each first step towards growing your life's potential. Learn more about how You First can support you through all of life's firsts at YouFirstCU.com. That's YouFirstCU.com.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
There's a right way and a wrong way to fight off mosquitoes. Karate chopping the air, in a public place, in front of your kids, and their friends, Mom, is the wrong way. Using STEM mosquito repellent is the right way. STEM effectively repels mosquitoes by harnessing active ingredients found in plants, like lemongrass and peppermint, making it safe for use as directed around people and pets. STEM, rooted in nature, optimized by science, and embarrassment-free.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. After mass layoffs at big tech companies, these workers are being pursued by industries who wouldn't normally associate with tech work. These industries include hotel chains, railroad companies, investment firms, and the country's largest employer, the federal government.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment. The markets are down in early trading. The Dow is off 128, which is 0.4%. We're at 33,798. The S&P is down 15, which is 0.3. The Nasdaq down 27, which is 0.2.
It's the 100-day countdown to Cougar football, and it's brought to you by Bish's RV. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper.
The anticipation of the 2023 BYU football season is in large part due to the inaugural year in the Big 12 Conference. Head coach Kalani Sitake experienced the transition to a power league before, while he was an assistant at Utah back in 2011. The biggest takeaway he learned from that was making sure his players are playing at their best for the guaranteed opportunities they have during a given season.
So whether it's a P5 program or G5 or FCS, it doesn't matter to me. We need to make sure our team's ready to go, and that was our mindset in Independence. That's got to be our mindset still today. It's not really focused on our opponent. We know that we have Sam Houston, we know we have Southern Utah, and then we have Arkansas after that, and then before we get into the Big 12. So there's 12 games that are guaranteed on the schedule. We just need to make sure that we play our best 12 times, and my job is to get us ready for one.
Countdown to Cougar football. 66 days to go. I'm Mitch Harper, KSL Sports.
On the heels of talking about money, we're always looking for the positive side to what could be a negative in your life.
Yeah.
And interest rates is one of those right now. When the Fed is raising interest rates on everything else, there's an opportunity on the earnings side.
Right, for your savings to make you more money at Utah Community Credit Union, UCCU, because right now they're offering high-rate savings options with yields up to 5.5%. I don't know what your savings account is, but I know it's not 5.5%.
Yeah, and so let us suggest this, that if you have money sitting in a savings account, transfer it to UCCU and start taking advantage of that 5.5%, which, by the way, is a much higher savings than you're going to get, much higher earnings than you're going to get on your savings with a savings certificate. You just make one deposit up front, and then you let that money grow over time, and it can grow for as long as 5 years.
So no matter what amount it is, you put it in there, and you take it out in 6 months if you want to, or leave it in longer like Tim suggests. Either way, you're going to earn more money on that money of yours.
And by the way, UCCU also wants you to know that if you need access to your money more immediately, you can do that with their great money market.
UCCU.com is where you go. Just select a high-yield savings option and supercharge your savings.
UCCU, you're going to love where you bank.
Introducing Yes Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. We're bringing all of Utah's favorite HVAC, plumbing, and electrical brands under one roof. The same people you know and trust, providing Utah with the same great service you've counted on for more than 45 years. We're even throwing in a great offer for you. Say yes and beat the summer heat with our $49 tune-up special. For all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, you can always count on Yes. Visit theyesmancan.com to schedule your appointment.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
7:59, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Andy?
Amanda, traffic still slow. I-15 near Point of the Mountain. Scattered spots of delay between 7200, 53rd, and 4500 South, but really the stop and goes down around the 14300 South Bluffdale exit. Seeing delays on Bangor still. South Jordan and Taylorsville at 98th and 47th South, Tooele County. Lake Point delays have cut it in about half, but you still have a few blocks of backup to get to I-80 on SR 36. Heather?
There's just a few brake lights remaining southbound I-15 between 31st Street and Ogden and the I-84 interchange. Once you get past it, you're up to speed until you get to the I-215 North interchange. That's where you'll see more slowdowns from there all the way into downtown Salt Lake. The west side belt I-215 is starting to see some slowing as well, but it's heading northbound, which is unusual as you make your way from 700 north to 2300 north, and then you'll have some slowing as you hook onto Legacy Parkway from I-215 due to construction with the right lane closed. Eric.
Southbound slowdowns are back. US 40 approaching the turnoff to go to Park City. Down Utah County, I-15 looking pretty good, northbound and southbound. Wake up with a sore back. Upgrade your mattress today at Durden's new sleep center. Durden's mattresses on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's, brand you know at prices you'll love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Those clouds that have been hanging over downtown starting to break up now. We'll look for a high of 84 with some rain later. And right now it's 65 degrees in Salt Lake City.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
For the first time ever, Salt Lake City is choosing to have drone shows rather than fireworks for the 4th of July and Pioneer Day.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, it's going to look a lot different for sure, but the city says it's not only going to mitigate wildfire risk, but they're also going to alleviate air quality concerns that come with traditional fireworks. In a statement, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall says, quote, "We must be conscientious of both our air quality and the potential for wildfires." The drone shows will take place on Saturday, July 1st, and not the 4th at Jordan Park, and Monday, July 24th, Pioneer Day at Liberty Park. The shows are free to everyone. I'm currently in contact with the mayor's office. We're hoping we can get her on for the in-depth either at 15 or 45 this hour, so be sure to stay with us right here at KSL News Radio. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Kids' brains aren't safe from any level of pollution. That's the finding of a new study of thousands of children. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston joins us live with more. Peter?
Tim, this was the biggest ever study of teens' cognitive development. Researchers took before and after pictures of kids' brains using an MRI machine with a space of 2 years between those pictures. In the meantime, they measured the amount of chemical pollutants in the air near those children's houses. What they found is that the supposedly safe levels on EPA's chart still lead to changes in how the kids' brains are wired. Now the agency is considering a change in levels of what's considered safe, but 20 attorneys general, including Sean Reyes from Utah, are challenging that. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Summer Roadwork, special coverage on Utah's Morning News.
Summer construction season is here, and UDOT says you'll need to pack your patience. KSL News Radio's Lindsay Aerts reports there are over 200 construction projects right now.
I used to drive my crying baby on I-80 in Sugar House because the worn-down gravel made the perfect road to lull her to sleep. And UDOT says that's just one of the 217 construction zones across the state right now. They're repaving, replacing bridges, and widening that freeway. The West Davis project, another big one, creating a new 4-lane divided highway. They're also updating Bangerter Highway, making 4 new freeway-style interstate changes.
UDOT says these projects cost about $3.2 billion.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The former Marine charged with choking a homeless man to death on a Manhattan subway is expected to be arraigned today. Daniel Penny says he was acting to protect himself and fellow passengers when he placed Jordan Neely in a chokehold that ended up being fatal.
Penny charged with second-degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide for the subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely. It happened on May 1st on that Manhattan F train. The Marine veteran placed Neely in that chokehold for several minutes as others also helped restrain him, but only Penny has been charged. And in a video released by Penny's attorney, he explained why he did it.
I was scared for myself, but I looked around. I saw women and children. He was yelling in their faces, saying these threats. I couldn't just sit still.
ABC's Derek Waller says that Penny is accused of keeping Neely in that chokehold for at least 3 minutes.
Utah Senator Mike Lee wants to roll back antitrust exemptions given to Major League Baseball. KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson has more on the Competition in Professional Baseball Act.
Senator Lee believes a Supreme Court decision that ruled baseball games or exhibitions exempt from antitrust laws should be overruled by legislation.
There's no reason that Major League Baseball should be treated any differently than any other professional sports leagues in America.
According to KSL.com, Senator Bernie Sanders asked Congress Congress to rescind baseball's exemption back when MLB and the Players Union reached a new labor agreement to end a months-long lockout.
Lee says competition is needed after recent controversies surrounding the Dodgers' Pride Night and the relocation of the All-Star Game from Atlanta.
Severe weather continues to cause a lot of problems and cancellations at airports back east. ABC's Lionel Moise says that can be added to all the problems caused by wildfire smoke coming from Canada.
People from Wisconsin to Chicago seeing the worst air quality in the world yesterday. That smoke now moving east. Meanwhile, in the south, the historic heat wave now entering a third week is driving up emergency room visits. The Texas power grid broke an all-time record yesterday for electricity demand. The oppressive heat even breaking records at night, with low temperatures still in the 80s.
First look traffic now, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
Traffic has a few slow spots, but no crashes that we can see at the moment. South 15 doesn't see any slowing between Ogden and Farmington, but then you do back up a little bit right before Lagoon. Then we have slowdowns on both southbound 15 coming in towards 6 North, and we have some northbound delays on 215, and then again on to Legacy as you go into Davis County as well. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Campsites across the country are fully booked months in advance, but many are also half empty. KSL News Radio's Andrew Gordon explains.
It turns out that many campers are making multiple bookings months in advance before their plans are fully set. When those plans change or the weather prohibits them from going, they simply don't show up and don't let the parks know they won't be there to avoid a cancellation fee. California is working on legislation that would turn cancellation fees into reservation credit that can be used in the next 5 years. The hope is to encourage cancellations when necessary and allow other campers to fill those campsites. Andrew Gordon, KSL News Radio.
The Fed releases the results of its annual bank stress test today.
Every year, the Federal Reserve tests the balance sheets of the nation's banks to see how they'd weather an economic downturn, something it started after the 2007 to 2009 financial crisis. Today's stress test is the first since the failures of Silicon Valley, Signature, and First Republic banks.
ABC's Daria Albinger says the annual tests compare a bank's balance sheet against various problems to determine how much capital each bank would need to survive.
Salt Lake City has been named the third best metro area in the U.S. to start a career. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has more on the bank rate ranking.
Salt Lake City is rated so high for a number of reasons. Mark Nold at the Department of Workforce Services says the city reflects the states in that demographics, undeveloped countryside, and economic diversity gives Utah a strong outlook for beginning workers.
Nold also says these opportunities spread from the Salt Lake metro area to other cities along the Wasatch Front.
4 out of 10 Californians say they are considering leaving the state. A new statewide poll shows most people enjoy living there, but economically, it's becoming a difficult challenge. California's population has actually decreased over the past 3 years.
Southbound I-15 slowing, approaching downtown Salt Lake City. We'll see what the cause of that is if we can determine it when we check your traffic and weather next.
Breaking news is just one ask away.
Playing KSL News Radio.
New trouble for Amazon. Everything near the parks is turned into an Airbnb.
In your home, tell Alexa, play KSL News Radio. Then listen in your car at 102.7 FM.
As I look at my path to the NFL, I wouldn't have been able to do it by myself. Having a supporting cast for me made all the difference, both on and off the field. And the thing I realized this last year was having that supporting cast made my dreams and my goals a reality. I prepare as best as I can for every situation on the football field. You know, that same mindset applies to me as a husband, as a dad. And being a new father with an 8-month-old child, I've realized that I now have a responsibility to my son and to my wife, just like I do my teammates. I spend all my time being a quarterback, and I need to find people that I can trust and rely upon. Deseret First Credit Union, they are those people that are spending all that time to help me manage and take care of my family. My name is Taysom Hill, and my why is faith, family, and football.
We've been taking texts all morning on the question, how do you feel about replacing fireworks with drones? Lots of interesting texts this morning from people on both sides. But we'll continue to talk about it as the Salt Lake mayor has decided it'll be drones for the 4th of July and 24th of July this year. KSL News Time 8:09, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s is brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Andy, we've got some slowing coming into downtown.
Yep, and it's North 15, still in Draper. You're going to see some brake lights right before that Bangerter Highway exit. And then traffic is improving through Midvale and Murray, but before you get to downtown, you'll see some brake lights again, 3300 south to the I-80 turnoff. No delays anymore on Bangerter Highway, thankfully, through West Valley, but in South Jordan, we still have some at 9800 south. Heather?
Southbound I-15 has a little bit of slowing again between Kaysville and Farmington. That had eased up for a while a little earlier. Now it's back. And as you continue southbound I-15, you're going to see more brake lights from Beck Street to downtown Salt Lake City. You've got construction on Legacy Parkway. That's heading northbound as you hook on from I-215's West Belt. And occasionally that slows people down too as you only have one lane available. Eric?
Well, we don't have any delays westbound I-80, but you've just still got a vehicle that had caught on fire earlier right on the right shoulder, and perhaps the folks that were there to assist that person, that's still there. So be careful as you go by, stick to the left and pay attention. I-15, Utah County, northbound, southbound, looking good right now from Lehigh to Provo. No accidents or delays. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
A little boundary of unstable air will move into the Wasatch Front, providing a chance for some thunderstorms today. 84 the high. Overnight lows, low to mid-60s, partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow's 85 and a slight chance for storms. Then we get hot for the weekend. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Let's see. Salt Lake City this hour, 65 degrees.
We're getting more details about Prigozhin's what his plans were as he headed toward Moscow. This is the leader of the Wagner Group. And I'm surprised at the details that we're learning about the people he was going to replace in the Russian military.
I'm curious about where that information comes from.
I don't even know that either. Maybe we'll learn just ahead. Ian Pannell will report from Ukraine just ahead on KSL News Radio.
Stay with us. We'll learn about it together at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. Thanks again for starting your day with Tim and Amanda on KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
Well, summer's here, and of course, a lot of activities come along with it. But if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling sluggish, if you're not feeling good about yourself, you may just find yourself missing summer sitting on the couch. It's time to shift the game. SOTA Weight Loss, SOTA, stands for state-of-the-art weight loss because it is state-of-the-art, is your path to actually be able to get out and enjoy your summer. The pounds and inches fall away because it's based on science. You have your own nutritionist and coach to help you along the way. And I'm not the only one who's had great success. I lost 37 pounds, got me off the couch, got me back engaged in all kinds of activities, and you can do the same. It's really simple. You've heard me say it before when it comes to your SOTA weight loss journey. There's no time to lose. There's only time to win. So start winning. Summer's just right here, and it's a great chance for you to get in the game, get control of your health and wellness, and project a better future. Check it out at sotaweightloss.com, SOTAweightloss.com.
Attention smart homeowners. You don't have to fall for flashy promises and companies that don't even prove their work. At Your Service Pros uses third-party verification software called MeasureQuick to ensure your new HVAC system is installed correctly. This ultimate game changer in the HVAC industry lets you, the homeowner, have proof of how your system was installed. At Your Service Pros utilizes our Bluetooth tools to upload all of your system's information into MeasureQuick. We rely on data-driven insights to properly commission, optimize, and fine-tune your HVAC system for peak performance, improving your family's comfort, lowering your utility bills, and extending the life of your HVAC system. With rebates and tax credits available totaling more than $7,500 on a dual fuel heating and cooling system, it is now more important than ever that your HVAC system be installed correctly. So call us today at 801-YOUR-PRO. That's 801-YOUR-PRO. Have the peace of mind of saving up to 50% on your new system and knowing it's installed correctly by calling 801-YOUR-PRO.
You know, in Box Elder County, they're all about the bucket list. Want to go birding at the premier birding destination in the western United States? Well, check off the Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge. How about land art? The spiral jetty and sun tunnels will leave you inspired. Or stand on the spot where the Union and Central Pacific Railroads joined and forged the destiny of a nation. Yep, Golden Spike National Historical Park is like no other place. Check. Splash, boat, camp, or fish your day away? Willard Bay State Park will guarantee a good time. Soak in a natural hot spring with the highest mineral content in the world? That would be Crystal Hot Springs. You'll feel rejuvenated. Eat at Utah's original steakhouse. Maddox Ranch House is perfection. Check. A 1920s diner. The Idle Owl Cafe will transport you back in time. As you empty your Box Elder County bucket list, you'll find a whole new set of adventures to fill it up again. Fill up your bucket list at visitboxeldercounty.com.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 8:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
for the first time ever, Salt Lake City will host a drone show rather than a traditional fireworks show for the 4th of July and Pioneer Day. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, UDOT is busy working on over 200 road construction projects this summer, which cost around $3.2 billion.
Third, of course, it's traffic and weather together.
And right now I'm watching slowdowns on I-15 around 33rd South, some additional southbound delays around 215, and we've had those off and on slowdowns going from 215 on to Legacy in North Salt Lake the whole morning because of the lane restrictions. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, a chance for thunderstorms today and tomorrow, and then the heater turns on. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 66 downtown.
With KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The hazy skies are clearing a bit over Chicago. That city and others around the Great Lakes, the latest to experience smoky skies and unsafe air quality. ABC's Alex Perez is there.
Parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and even as far as North Carolina, all also impacted. This, of course, all stemming from those ongoing wildfires in Canada that just a couple of weeks ago created air quality problems in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. New York City's sky glowing orange at one point.
That's just one of the problems leading to airline passengers being stranded coast to coast, the bulk of them in the Northeast. This woman at Newark International Airport clearly frustrated because she can't leave.
It's not okay because people have planned these vacations for like a long time. It's been a long couple of days.
United CEO blames the FAA for an air traffic control worker shortage, but ABC's Lana Moise says
a travel industry trade group responded, calling air traffic control staffing levels unacceptable and pushing the FAA and Congress to speed up hiring, which can take years due to training and certification requirements. Another challenge, thousands of controllers retiring since last year.
This is ABC News.
Let's go in depth now. We continue to get new details about the short-lived march by the leader of the Wagner Group toward Moscow in Russia.
ABC's Ian Pannell has the latest from Ukraine.
It just gets more and more intriguing. More astonishing details emerging about this crisis in Russia and why it might not be over. A senior U.S. official telling our Martha Raddatz that the leader of the rebellion, Yevgeny Prigozhin, spoke with Russian military officers and others in Moscow before the mutiny and that he thought that they'd rise up with him. The U.S. apparently doesn't believe that Putin knew this beforehand and that the officers simply decided to side with Putin in the end, leaving Prigozhin shocked and without support. He's now in exile in neighboring Belarus with a huge security force around him. Now, the president of Belarus, the man who brokered the deal to end the mutiny and stop this march, revealing that Putin raised the possibility of killing Prigozhin, quotes, squash him like a bug. On the ground here, Ukrainian troops trying to take advantage of this disarray in Russia and push their counter-offensive. Russian attacks, though, continue with a devastating strike in the eastern city of Kramatorsk, killing 10, including 3 children, and wounding 60.
Wow, it's hard not to wonder what would have happened if the military had sided with Prigozhin like he thought they were going to. And maybe the war would be ending now. But we don't know. I mean, maybe he would have turned out to be just as bad or worse than Putin. We don't know.
Yeah, and Ian wasn't able to give us an answer to our question about how all of this information is coming to light today.
Yeah.
But boy, the questions on the other side of this and we've been told there were 50,000 Wagner troops, 25,000 were a part of that march. If they don't buy into the leadership of the regular military of Russia, what happens on the other side of this? And what are the ramifications in Ukraine?
Well, they do have military actions in other parts of the world. So maybe those 25,000, maybe they'd leave the battlefield in Ukraine and go somewhere else.
Wow.
Wherever they were assigned.
And I was also seeing a lot of reporting yesterday that Ukraine, for all the right reasons, is looking at this as maybe an opportunity to make some gains in that counterinsurgency that we were talking about, that counteroffensive. We'll continue to try and sort it all out, but we'll need the help of ABC to do it. And our thanks to Ian Panel for that update from Ukraine on the in-depth at 15 and 45.
8:19 now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. And back to you, Andy.
Amanda, traffic is better than it has been for much of the last hour. Most of our delays on the freeway are gone. Heavy traffic. You might see some at 106, some at 33rd South, but your speeds should stay pretty close to the speed limit, so about a 20-minute travel time point of the mountain to downtown. Looks good on I-215's west side, and earlier Lake Point slowdowns in SR-36. You'll just have to wait at the one intersection light at Saddleback Boulevard. Heather?
No reports of accidents through Weber and Davis counties, and traffic is returning to normal, especially southbound I-15. You might run into a brake light here or two in Kaysville and Farmington, and again as you approach downtown Salt Lake. But overall, things are looking pretty good on all the city streets and the other major freeways as well. Eric?
Boys are getting slow trying to get into Park City from US 40 this morning. If you're exiting I-80 at Silver Creek and heading south on 40, we got those slowdowns pretty much right away as you go down towards the turnoff into Park City. That's SR 248 or Kearns Boulevard. Now, if you're going into Park City using the Kimball Junction exit, that looks pretty good southbound on 224. And I-80 through the mountains for eastbounders in good shape. Westbound still clearing up a vehicle that caught on fire up at Parley Summit. Again, this is westbound over on the right shoulder. Upgrade your countertops with beautiful quartz or granite. With Bedrock Quartz, it's only 7 days from template to installation with showrooms in Layton, West Jordan, St. George, and Pleasant Grove. BedrockQuartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. Mid-80s today. We'll go chance for storms by afternoon and evening. 85 on Thursday. Chance for storms again. 87 on your Friday. Mostly sunny skies. We'll then go to sunny skies as we work into Saturday and Sunday. Low to mid-90s. Then it's just hot. 97 on Monday. Partly cloudy on the 4th of July. 96. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
We have not had much sunshine downtown this morning because of those clouds. 66 degrees. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We've been talking about what we learned this morning, that on July 4th and the 24th, but thinking of next week, that it's not going to be a fireworks show in Salt Lake City, but a drone show, which I am personally excited to see. But here's my question, Tim. How far away can you see the drone show? Because, you know, we sort of plan about going to these things. Sometimes you don't want to be right underneath it.
Yeah.
So could you see it, you know, in Sugar House? Could you see it
I don't know.
At the Capitol?
It may depend on the drones they use.
And how high up they
and
are.
how high they are. But I think one of the attractions of drones is they can actually do it at a lower elevation than having to shoot the fireworks so high.
That we have more questions that we need answered before we make family plans, but it should be exciting. And we appreciate your text this morning letting us know how you feel about it. We've had people on both sides, people who really like fireworks show and they don't want it to change, and then the one we just got, drones, love it, less smoke in the air the next day, from Steve. So we appreciate all your texts on the Cypress Credit Union KSL text line, which is 57500.
We've also been talking about this morning. We'll find out in a minute what they say the cost of a party of 10 4th of July barbecue will be this year. I have my doubts. We'll talk about it next.
Picture this. A warm summer evening, the sun setting behind the mountains, blankets being laid out on the cool grass, and world-class music. It's the Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival, and you're invited to escape into the music with 12 concerts at Snowpark Amphitheater featuring country pop sensation LeAnn Rimes, the movie music of John Williams, alt-rocker Ben Folds, and the Beach Boys. Let the summer festivities begin at the Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival, kicking off with a salute to the USA. Start your Independence Day weekend celebrations with a concert under the stars, featuring Gershwin's wildly popular piano concerto Rhapsody in Blue, movie music by John Williams, and so many more American classics. Patriotic Pops opens the Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival. Be there Friday, June 30th in Park City. Tickets are on sale now at deervalleymusicfestival.org.
With our roots in northern Utah, Holy Cross Hospital has a legacy of caring to help every person be whole and healthy. Find us at 5 Holy Cross Hospital locations and more than 45 clinics along the Wasatch Front. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
At Holy Cross Hospital, we're honored to carry the legacy of our namesake and equally honored to care for northern Utah's vibrant communities. Find us at 5 Holy Cross Hospital locations and more than 45 clinics along the Wasatch Front. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
I'm Dave Cawley, investigative journalist and host of the podcast Cold. Don't miss Cold's new Season 3, where I look into the unsolved disappearance of Cherie Warren, a woman last seen leaving her job at a Salt Lake City office in 1985. Police cast suspicion on Cherie's estranged husband and boyfriend, but never made any arrests or recovered Cherie's remains. Find Cold Season 3, The Search for Cherie, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Watching Utah's Money Now, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Good news, your 4th of July cookout will cost a little less this year. The average cost for a party of 10 is $67.73, although Tim does not believe that for 1 second.
Come on.
That is 3% less than last year, says the American Farm Bureau Federation. You obviously spend a lot more money on food than these people
Well,
do.
we looked into it, and here's how they came to that number. And by the way, there's no hot dogs on this list. How do you have a barbecue for the 4th of July with
Tim,
no hot dogs?
It's personal preference. Don't get upset about that.
All right. Hamburger buns, 1 package. Cheese, 1 pound. Ground beef, 2 pounds. Cookies, ice cream, half a gallon. 1 bag of chips for 10 people.
We eat more than this list would indicate.
We definitely do. Speaking of hot dogs, if you're tired of the same few ingredients on your hot dog, a new Pepsi-infused ketchup will debut at 4 Major League ballparks this 4th of July. This new culinary fusion is part of the hashtag Better with Pepsi campaign.
Bud Light is offering a $15 rebate on 15 packs of beer for the 4th of July weekend. Some purchases less than $15 are practically free. Customers can claim the rebate on the Bud Light website.
Markets are mixed all of a sudden. The tech stocks of the NASDAQ have actually turned positive. It's up almost 10. The S&P is down 10, and the Dow is off this hour by 0.4, or 143 points.
We just heard from Randall that we will be speaking with the Salt Lake Mayor, Erin Mendenhall, coming up at 8:45.
Oh, good.
So in about 20 minutes, we'll have a chance to talk to her about the drone show, where it is, what she knows about it, how long it'll last, what time we show it, the whole shooting match at 8:45.
How many drones is one of the questions
Yeah.
I have. Maybe she doesn't even know that at this point. It's a pretty clean drive on I-15 now, but southbound US 40 slowing on the Wasatch back. We'll check that and the rest of your drive in this morning with traffic and weather together next.
Jeff Kaplan. I'm originally from New Jersey. It's a little different than Utah. Oh, okay. It's a lot different than Utah. You understand what I'm saying here? I first came here on a date. I had an employee who lived in Utah, and I said, that girl, I think I'm going to meet her, and it's tax deductible. I never left. I've never left. I've been here for going on 15 years now, and we've been married for 12. I've been around the block in the radio business. I've worked for a lot of major companies. There are none with the commitment to the community that I found at KSL. There are none with the camaraderie of the staff that I found at KSL. And there are none with the commitment of management and the company to the safety, the health, the welfare of their staff. And I just love this place.
Ride Home with Jeff Kaplan, weekdays 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
Summer celebrations are almost here.
You can light off your own fireworks until 11 p.m. on the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, midnight on the 4th.
And the fireworks stands are open.
Even if it's green, it can still burn.
Don't burn down Utah. And come here for updates on safety and restrictions. KSL News Radio, your summertime fun companion for news.
Join KSL tomorrow night from 6 to 9 p.m. for a special movie show located at the Megaplex Theaters at the District in South Jordan. The movie show Thursday at the Megaplex The District.
KSL News Time, 8:29. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Andy, where are the problems?
Well, there's not a lot of problems, thankfully, right now, at least if you're heading towards Salt Lake from the south end of the valley or on Bangerter, where we had earlier problems in South Jordan and Taylorsville. Those are all clear. For the most part, you drive about 18 minutes, point of the mountain to Salt Lake City, if you're going to take the whole way through the valley. SR 201, all clear as well, crossing Magna and West Valley. Heather?
Weber and Davis County drivers only have to contend with a couple of areas of slowing. The first one southbound I-15 from Beck Street into downtown Salt Lake, and the other is heading north on Legacy Parkway. As you hook on from I-215's West Belt, you'll run into road construction. Only one left lane is open, and that'll slow you down as you head into Woods Cross. Eric?
In Utah County, we're looking at a good travel time on I-15 northbound from Springville to Point of the Mountain. That's a 22-minute drive. I-80 through Parley's Canyon looks pretty good. Got a little bit of eastbound slowing now as you go by the East Canyon exit. And you still have a crash, a vehicle that caught on fire earlier, westbound I-80 at Parley Summit. That's still over on the right shoulder. They're still cleaning that up. And if you're exiting I-80 to go south on US 40, expect pretty significant delays trying to turn off onto 248 to go west into Park City. When you choose Performance Automotive and Bountiful, you're choosing exceptional service from 4 dealers: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Performance Toyota, and Truck Country. See performancebountiful.com. Eric Fuller in the KSL Traffic Center.
We do have a chance of showers today and tomorrow, Matt says. Today's high will be 84 degrees, about the same tomorrow. We get up into the 90s on Saturday, 92 Saturday, all the way up to 99 will be our high for the 7-day forecast on Monday, and July 4th will be about the same, 98 degrees. Right now, downtown, 66 degrees.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
More than 99% of the statewide snowpack has melted, and some experts are saying that snowmelt this spring was about as perfect as it could get.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small has the details.
Mother Nature was extra generous this year, not only giving us an average of 30 inches of water in that snowpack, but also giving us just the right temperatures to get it all down without extreme flooding.
Everything just kind of melted slowly.
That's National Weather Service meteorologist Linda Chang. KSL.com reports all that water boosted our reservoir levels across the state from 42 to 86% in just 1 year.
It actually turned out pretty great.
There are still some specks of snow on the mountains, of course, but with highs getting up in the 90s this weekend, they may not be around for much longer. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
We're nearing the end of June without having hit 100 degrees along the Wasatch Front. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
This summer could go either way, above or below the 30-year average temperature. And while this past month has felt much cooler than recent years, it's actually pretty normal. The extreme heat we've had over the last 2 years is not normal. A high-pressure ridge above the state kept cold fronts away, favoring hot and dry conditions.
Meteorologists are also certain we won't see 100-degree days through the rest of June, unlike last year when we saw 3.
We will be in the 90s this weekend, and that means playground equipment is going to get dangerously hot. KSL News Radio's Dale Spalding has the story.
Intermountain Health Memorial Clinic general pediatrician Dr. Peter Lindgren says one way to keep kids cool is to avoid playing during the hottest times of day. I asked how you can tell if your child is dehydrated.
The first things that people typically tend to see, kids tend to get tired. And they also tend to get irritable.
Dr. Lindgren suggests checking the weather and keeping water on hand. He says one indicator for a heat-related emergency is a change in the skin. If their skin goes from hot to clammy, you need to seek help. Dr. Lindgren adds if your child gets a burn from hot playground toys, be sure to pour water over the burn site to cool the area. Dale Spalding, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Homes and businesses have been evacuated in Scottsdale, Arizona, as firefighters battle a fast-moving brush fire that put dozens of homes in danger.
The fire is estimated at about 700 acres per our air attack.
Fire management spokesperson Tiffany Davila says the Diamond Fire multiplied in size last evening, and they're calling in additional air support.
Bountiful residents say they're getting tired of people throwing water balloons and other items at them and their cars. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has the details.
Police say they've handed out 10 tickets so far for people using water balloons, paintball guns, and airsoft weapons on local residents. Assistant Chief Dave Edwards says it's most often kids on summer break just trying to have some fun.
They don't realize it's not that fun when your windshield just got broken and it cost you $1,000, or when you're hit in the face with a water balloon at 30 miles an hour.
Edwards wants parents to get involved to avoid a more dangerous situation.
Before we have anybody get hurt, before we have anything like this that escalates into a road rage type incident.
The assistant chief says anyone caught attacking people will face assault charges. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
A South Jordan family is feeling unsettled after discovering bullet holes in their house. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has more.
South Jordan police are still investigating who took a shot at a home in Daybreak.
We face into a communal garden, so it's super weird.
KSL TV met with a homeowner who wished to remain anonymous after discovering the bullets in a hallway closet after penetrating the front door.
Well, I freaked out. We had a baby in the house, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's the perfect height for her head.
The homeowner just wishes she knew how it happened and that whoever did it will hold themselves accountable.
I'm just concerned that it might be a kid that has access to a gun that got a hold of it last night and accidentally shot it off.
Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic now, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
Right now, if you're on I-15, you're all clear heading north through the Salt Lake Valley and in Utah County. If you're heading south on I-15, there's still some busy traffic after 200 North Kaysville. If you're in Davis County, and then just a little bit in North Salt Lake itself. Looks good on I-80 from Tooele, but we've got some eastbound delays on I-80 in Parleys just after the East Canyon exit. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Former President Trump is offering an explanation about the audio recording where he mentions having classified documents.
Trump telling ABC's Rachel Scott, "If you want to know the truth, it was bravado. I was talking and just holding up papers and talking about them, but I had no documents." Trump spoke to Rachel after ABC News aired the recording from a meeting at Trump's New Jersey Golf Club in 2021. In which Trump described a document he says was compiled by former Trump Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley outlining a potential attack on Iran.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, Except it is highly confidential, secret.
ABC's Justin Finch says the audio recording is quoted in the indictment related to Trump's handling of classified documents.
The sudden death of former NFL quarterback Ryan Mallett is drawing attention to a surge in rip current deaths along the Gulf Coast. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more.
The National Weather Service says in just the past 2 weeks, rip currents have claimed the lives of 11 people along Florida's Gulf Coast. A lifeguard on Panama City Beach performed more than 3 dozen rescues on Saturday alone. Rip currents flow at speeds up to 5 miles per hour. That's faster than most Olympic swimmers. Experts say if you're caught in one, do not swim directly back to shore against the current. Instead, swim parallel to the shore. And of course, listen to the warnings from lifeguards.
Norwood says Mallett died after being caught in a rip current off Destin, Florida.
There's a new art exhibit in the UK that features photos taken by a very young Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney was noodling around with a new camera, taking pictures of his friends in October 1963 through February 1964. That just happened to be as Beatlemania took hold. The Eyes of the Storm exhibit shows 250 photos that McCartney rediscovered and often never had printed. Curator Rosie Broadley says the photos of the Beatles in Miami in 1964 show details of how crazy things were.
There's a woman carrying a chimpanzee, and then people sort of almost falling off the balcony.
The exhibit runs through October. I'm Margie Zaraletta.
Coming up in a moment, we do have northbound lane restrictions on Legacy Parkway because of construction and some southbound slowdowns on US 40 heading away from I-80. We'll check traffic and weather just ahead.
Start your day with all news in the morning. Then hear Dave and Dejanovic talk about the biggest stories from 9 to noon.
Crashes every single day because of road rage.
A concern for Utah drivers.
Breaking news, important talk, all morning on KSL News Radio.
And now here's Growing Your Wealth, presented by Madrona Financial Services. Here's Brian Evans.
This week I'm talking about charitable gifting strategies beyond just writing a check to a charity. So I just wanted to complete that discussion with this topic today, just the financial plan of giving to charities. Most of my clients have gone through our process where we do a lifetime financial plan for them. We're going to make sure that they have a proper income and assets and so forth that last their whole life. Make sure that they're taken care of, and then after that, make sure that their kids are taken care of and their legacy plans or their grandkids. This could be through setting up funds for college education or different things like that, or even funding premium finance fixed index universal life, that can offer tax-free cash flow or anything like that. So there's a lot of planning around that. But generally there's a charitable aspect, and there are a number of different ways we can integrate this into a plan to help somebody figure out exactly how much of their estate they want to go to which charities that they like. And you can do this with tax advantage ways. It could be through donating appreciated stock, donating directly your required minimum distributions. It could be setting up a scholarship fund and endowment fund with some of the legacy assets that you have during your lifetime or upon your passing. Donor advised funds. There's just a lot of different techniques that we can use that can give you a tax deduction, but more importantly, by doing the planning ahead of time, it's not just some afterthought about your life's assets. You can do the planning now and make sure that the charities that you care about get taken care of in your legacy plan.
Even the mightiest of trees can be blown over if they don't have strong enough roots. The same is true with your investment plan. Can your plan withstand a financial storm? Go to MadronaFinancial.com and click on the Get Started button to request your Rooted Wealth Analysis. You can also click on the chat button and ask us anything. We have a searchable library with answers to your questions. Visit MadronaFinancial.com.
8:39, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Andy?
Amanda, most of the Salt Lake Valley traffic is in good shape, but I-15 running a bit sluggish between 33rd South and the I-80 turn in South Salt Lake. SR 201 all clear crossing Magna and West Valley to Willett County. SR 36 looks good, and just a couple of intersections you might wait, Stansbury Parkway and in Lake Point, but it'll be very minor slowdowns. Heather?
Also very minor slowdowns southbound I-15 from time to time in Kaysville and again between Beck Street and downtown Salt Lake. That's really the only problem that you're going to run into right now on your drive through Weber and Davis County. City streets have a little bit of congestion sometimes when the lights turn red, but overall it's been a really nice drive. Eric.
Going out to Park City this morning, I-80, you've got some slowdowns just before the East Canyon exits, and then before you even get to Lambs Canyon, it all of a sudden clears back up, so we might have a crash going on there. The rest of the way to the Kimball Junction exit looks good. Now, if you choose to exit at Silver Creek and go south on US 40, expect some slowdowns, some pretty big ones too, approaching the 248 exit. That's to go west on Kearns Boulevard into Park City. I-15 in Utah County, that remains good from Santa Quin Payson all the way up to Thanksgiving Point. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires for big tire savings this 4th of July. Big O Tires has the lowest prices on every tire every day on brands you know and trust. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Look for mostly cloudy skies today, high of 84, and then a chance for some thunderstorms by afternoon and evening. Overnight lows, low to mid-60s, partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, mid-80s again, and a slight chance for an afternoon storm. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
All those clouds keeping things cool this morning, 66 degrees.
We're talking July 4th drone shows with the mayor of Salt Lake City, Aaron Mendenhall, next on KSL.
Stay with us at 102.7 FM and 1160 AM. It's Tim and Amanda here to start your day on your all-day companion for news.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
An orthopedic surgeon makes understanding pain painless.
It's the biggest frustration that patients have.
This is Dr. Pamela Mehta talking about aches with unexpected origins.
I see patients with pain in their knees, their hips, their back. Oftentimes, the pain is actually coming from their feet.
Bet they aren't expecting to hear that.
Those patients are super surprised. They can't believe that the pain in their knee isn't coming from actually inside the knee. But if you think about it, the feet are the base to your whole body.
That's why she suggests personally fit arch supports. Emphasis on the personal fit.
If you get something basing it just on your shoe size, it isn't going to fit you properly.
And if it doesn't fit well, it probably won't work well.
Go get arch supports fitted to you. It's as easy as going into a Good Feet store.
Try Good Feet for yourself with a free fitting. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit mygoodfeet.com.
Hi, Doug Wright here with my partner in crime on the movie show, Steve Sales. And Steve, we love to talk about NPS.
One of my favorite things, especially this time of year, is their gardening section.
Yeah.
They always have the most incredible plants. I mean, I'm not kidding you. It's like the Audrey 3 from Little Shop of Horrors. It's cool stuff.
Ooh, hey, and right now, too, patio furniture, they've got all the good stuff for the outdoors. And if you're looking for furniture and rugs and doormats right now, 50% off. And remember, when we say it's 50% off, that's off the already discounted price every single day. All this new merchandise, this great stuff, is 30 to 70% off.
And don't forget, they have groceries, great grocery shop. They have a great section over across the street for all your industrial needs, so check it out.
And remember, the Salt Lake store is a little unique with the two different stores right there on Empire at 1600 South, just west of Redwood Road. But there's a store for you in Layton and in Orem, NPS.
Just into the KSL newsroom, KSL News Radio has confirmed the estate for Eric Richens, who police say died after being poisoned by his wife, Corey, is suing Corey for at least $13 million. The new lawsuit accuses Corey of taking money from retirement accounts set up for Eric by his grandmother and mother. Corey is currently waiting for her trial to begin.
KSL News Time, 8:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
many campsites are empty during peak camping season due to no-shows. States are trying to encourage cancellations when necessary and allow as many people as possible to go camping. I'm Andrew Gordon, KSL News Radio.
Second, a South Jordan family is feeling unsettled after discovering bullet holes in their house, and they have no idea where they came from.
Third, traffic and weather together.
Traffic on the freeways is finally cleared up without any extra delays from crashes. We do have some slowing in North Salt Lake right at the 215 split in North Salt Lake. In fact, it looks like it's just starting to stack up, so maybe we do have something that's showed up after all. At the moment, though, that's the only freeway delay that I see between Ogden and Provo. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Mid-80s with a chance for PM thunderstorms. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 66 downtown.
Well, we've had a lot of back and forth conversation with our listeners about this morning, but Salt Lake City says they won't be hosting any professional fireworks shows next month, and instead will hold a free drone show to celebrate both the 4th and 24th of July.
Joining us live on the KSL Newsline is the mayor of Salt Lake City, Erin Mendenhall. How are you, Mayor?
I'm excellent. Thanks for having me on.
We're excited to learn more about the drone show, what it will be like and where.
Yes, so the July 1st show on Saturday will be at Jordan Park on 9th West in Salt Lake City. It will start at about 10 p.m. and last 10 to 15 minutes. There'll be a display of lights and some choreographed formations with the drones. You can tune in at 97.9 on the radio to listen to, the music that they have choreographed to it. And the drones will be about 300 feet up in the air, which could be visible for about a 5-mile radius. We actually have an interactive map that you can check out maybe where you'll be and whether or not you'll be in the view shed of that at slcevents.com.
How many drones are actually going to be involved with the show? Do we know?
I'm sure somebody knows. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I believe it's hundreds of drones.
So I just want to make sure that's Saturday, not on the 4th proper?
That's right. This one will be on Saturday, July 1st, 10 p.m. at Jordan Park, and then Monday, July 24th, will be at Liberty Park. Both shows begin at 10 p.m. and last 10 to 15 minutes.
You realize this is a change for many people from a tradition. Somebody was joking earlier in our text that we'll have to rewrite our national anthem because it talks about bombs bursting in air. Go
we'll
ahead.
Still have plenty of fireworks going off around the city.
Yeah.
The bombs burst all night.
Somebody asked us earlier if we could describe it for them, but really I think the best thing people could do is probably just go online and look them up. They can be really spectacular.
Yeah, it really will be a spectacular show, and it will be a different way to do it. But with the the drought and the fire danger that we've had in our surrounding foothills and some of the open spaces of Salt Lake City over the last many years, we canceled some of the fireworks shows in the past, restricted personal fireworks, and so we'd made this decision about the drone show some time ago. Before we necessarily knew we were going to have an epic winter and a really cool and somewhat wet summer. But this is a really spectacular performance, and I hope people will love it. We want to hear from you after.
And we have heard a lot of positive from our listeners, too. One listener said, drones, love it. Less smoke in the air the next day.
This is true. Yeah, less smoke in the air, less embers on houses and dry fields. Definitely less of a threat for our Salt Lake City Fire Department to have to go out and put out a lot of fires that tend to come up with fireworks.
Lantis told me earlier, one of the bigger fireworks display companies here in Utah, that the average cost then was about $1,000 a minute for fireworks. How does a drone show compare cost-wise?
This one it's slightly more than what we've traditionally paid for fireworks, but we, as a city subsidizing the show, also were taking into account the deployment of our fire department, which sometimes comes up. And that can come up really with residential fireworks as well. And the cost, again, with our air quality and the typically high ozone in the July month, those are some indirect costs that we're saving in terms of pollution and our fire department. We think it's going to be worth it, but we really want to hear from our residents after they see the show on Saturday.
I'm sure that people will let you know how they feel. They'll probably tell us, too. Well, we're excited to see it, Mayor. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me on. Have a great day.
Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall with us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
But again, it's this Saturday,
This
right?
Saturday.
Instead of on 4th of July, so keep that in mind. It's 8:49, time for that look at traffic and weather together, which we do every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Back to you, Andy.
Well, Tim, we've got some slowing on I-15 again from 4500 south up past the 3300 south exit, so prepare for a little bit of extra travel time on your way to Salt Lake City on the freeway. It looks much better, though. Mountain View, Bangerter, I don't see any more slowdowns. SR36 in Tooele County, but pretty busy around 5400 south, Redwood Road in Taylorsville at the moment. Heather?
You'll have some typical slowdowns southbound 15 from Layton into Kaysville, and now we have some stop-and-go traffic as you leave Woods Cross, head to the I-215 North Interchange in North Salt Lake. That is due to a crash blocking the HOV lane and left shoulder, but the other lanes are available to you. Once you get past it, you're up to freeway speeds into downtown Salt Lake, and you just have to contend with road construction on Legacy Parkway. That is northbound between I-215 all the way up into Woods Cross. Eric?
In Utah County, I-15 is looking good right now. No problems northbound from Provo to Point of the Mountain. We just have a little bit of slowing between 1600 North in Orem and the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit. If you're eastbound I-80, expect some delays through Parley's Canyon right at the East Canyon exit. It does clear up, though, by the time you go through Lambs Canyon. If you're exiting I-80 at US 40, a lot of slowdowns approaching the turnoff to go into Park City on SR 248. That's Kearns Boulevard. Advanced Window Products, factory direct affordable windows. Call today. They're on their way. Financing available. Save now, pay later. 801-850-9100 or advancedwindowsusa.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast, mid-80s today and tomorrow. Chance for storms both days. Friday, mostly sunny, 87. Saturday, 92 and sunny skies. We'll go with ample sunshine on 96 on Sunday. Monday, 97, mostly sunny, and partly cloudy skies with a high of 96 for your 4th of July Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
67 degrees downtown, and the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Last time you bought a printer, probably just for home, did you notice that the cost of the printer is kind of a loss leader because they know they can make their money on the back end with their ink cartridges?
Ink is ridiculous.
It is. It's one of the costs that you don't take into account most of the time, but it's one of the reasons we love to talk about Les Olson. And now, Les Olson IT is that they look at all of those things when they become a partner in your business.
Yeah. You tell them how much you use the printer for, and they'll tell you this is the best printer for you, and then they'll even save you money on the ink itself. Or you could even buy like a remanufactured copier. Maybe that would be good for you.
And what they find out is that you may be buying more of a printer than you actually need, or you're overusing one that, is using more ink and doesn't have to. There's a lot of things they look into, but Les Olson is so much more than just printers or copiers these days. It's Les Olson IT. So for anything your company needs, big or small, when it comes to making sure your company is up to speed with all of the technology of the day, you need to look into Les Olson IT.
And truly, for any size business, you have a small little Etsy business, perfect. If you have a humongous business, that's terrific too, because they can help you with your servers and so much more than just copiers and printers, with all your security needs.
They'll run all the cabling too. Schools, hospitals, sporting venues all use their security systems. Find out more. They've got 9 locations from Logan to Las Vegas.
Go to lesolson.com.
Men who have given up in their intimate life because of prostate issues, testicular cancer, or simply no ED treatments you've tried have worked. It's not the end. At Summit Men's Health, they have a customized approach for each individual patient to get results they desire and deserve. Stop wasting your time and money with treatments that don't work for most men, like Shockwave, Viagra, or the shots. Summit Men's Health guarantees results in your first visit, or you don't pay. Call Summit Men's Health today and get the spark back in your relationship. Summit Men's Health, 435-500-2790. They're so confident this will work for you, they promise if you don't get results on your first visit, they pay you $500 cash, no questions asked. Call Summit Men's Health today at 435-500-2790. That's 435-500-2790 to get the passion back in your love life.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. A glitch in the Cash App has caused double charges on transactions, bringing some customers down into a negative account balance. The company announced they have found the cause of the glitch, and all those double charges will be refunded.
A university in New York has filed a lawsuit against a cleaning company. They claim one of the cleaners destroyed 20 years of research by turning off a lab freezer containing sensitive cell cultures. Everybody who works up at the lab at the University of Utah listening to us just went, "Are you kidding?" According to the lawsuit, the freezer was beeping, and the cleaner turned it off because he found the beeping annoying.
I wonder if it was an actual staff member or whether it was contracted work, because if it's contracted, I would imagine they'll be looking for new help.
Yeah.
A possible shortage of lithium is threatening automakers who use the lithium for electric car batteries. This deficit would be a huge obstacle for industry plans to increase electric car sales.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment. The Dow is down 146. That's 0.4%. We're at 33,780. The S&P is down just 0.9. That's just a fraction. The NASDAQ is up 72, which is 0.5%.
We were telling you earlier about northbound lane restrictions on Legacy Parkway that were causing some problems. We'll check traffic and weather together again coming up in 2 minutes.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations